I was just getting ready to say we're supposed to be on the same team, and here we are bickering and banting. Welcome back to Two C's with a pod. We got many guests today, so we're just going to get right in it. We're going to start with Scott is here. Scott's going to be our Raider correspondent. Hello, Scott. How you doing, man?
How we doing, guys?
Cue the booze, okay? Booze sound effects, all right?
Yeah.
Kevin Hogan in the house. Raven fan extraordinaire. He's bringing us all thing Raven.
Baltimore.
And look at this. We got at Living the Dream.
I'm here. I'm
Dave,
back.
Who's your team? Is it the Vikings, Lions? Who's your team?
I'm back, baby.
Cowboy fan Dave is here.
Popular demand. Give the people what they want.
Dolphin fan Dave in the house. And then joining us to bring the female perspective, lifelong fan, hashtag Eagle fan Bex. My sister just loves the Eagles, all things Philadelphia.
Cheesesteaks.
It's great to get her out of the house since she's, over the 76ers loss. The Flyers not making the playoffs.
It's always sunny there too, right?
Yeah.
And it looks sunny in the background. So
is it always sunny there? Okay. Are you muted, Becky? We can't hear you. Unmute yourself. Because this is
an Dennis Reynolds poster.
Sorry, I'm newbie, huh?
This is an audio thing. So
I just sent you a text. I was like, I don't know how to do this.
Well, yeah, you just it's the microphone button.
Yeah, I see it now. Thank you.
Hi, Becky. Nice to meet you.
All right, so who wants to start us off? Anybody that didn't make the playoffs is welcome to go first. So
that's not me.
Not you, Scott. I think Matt.
Hey, I'd love to go first, man.
Dave? Yeah, please go first.
Here's the thing, right? I got a lot of flack from the last time I think I was a guest on here, and I think you guys misconstrued what I said. I said there's 6 quarterbacks that can put up those same stats as Mahomes, right? And you guys have been hanging on. I said he's the 6th best quarterback. I said there's 6 players that can put up the same stats. So I just wanted to get that out there. If you guys need to go back and listen to that, because I keep getting some.
Yeah, I mean, we heard you
Twitter about that.
No, we heard you say Mahomes is the 7th best quarterback in the league.
I also said he's Donovan McNabb.
Right. I mean, I loved all of those Super Bowl championships that Donovan McNabb won. I loved them all.
Yeah. Well, Mahomes will have one more, I guess. So let's start with the champs of the offseason. Denver Broncos, man. You can look at any of the moves. You can look at the draft. It doesn't matter. Anytime you get a franchise quarterback, probably the best quarterback in the division now, to come, you're feeling good. You're a mile high, and I feel really good about the season. It's look, we let you guys have your time, but Daddy's back, okay, and now it's time to take this division back to where it needs to be. All right. Wilson isn't washed. I don't know if you've looked at stats, but he's not washed. I'll tell you who's washed. Let me go through the names. Joe Flacco, Case Keenum, Trevor Siemian, whatever other ragtag guys that we've went out. That's washed.
Drew
right?
Lock.
So
top stealer.
Joe does have a ring. Joe does have a ring.
Oh,
I don't want to just really, talk trash on Drew Lock. One,
good kid,
hometown kid.
Good
2,
kid. Nice kid.
We had terrible coaches, man. I mean, I don't know who could have been successful under that regime with Vic Fangio and Vance Joseph. The clown show of the coaches that they've had didn't breed a whole lot of success. And with Drew Lock, we can start right there because that's the first game of the season.
It is.
And it's Drew Lock revenge game. And
what I've heard, I just saw a headline today that Geno Smith has the lead for that job, and I'm not joking. It sounds hilarious.
Yeah,
Geno.
Look,
that is the talk. So apparently, Drew Lock's really wowing them down there in Seattle.
Well, look, that has been the story of the Denver Broncos the last 5-6 years. Like, is it Geno Smith or is it Drew Lock? I don't know who's, I mean, so
guy. What's Bridgewater's.
Even if it's 80% Russ, it's 100% better than the guys that we've had out there. And so I have nothing but optimism going into this year.
Man, you know what?
I was supposed to do homework, but I didn't. I really haven't checked the schedule a whole lot, to be honest with you. And I just
let me just run it. Let me just run it down for you then. Let's just do that. I'll just run it down for you. You give me a W and L.
Yep.
And then we'll just kind of run it around to see what everybody else thinks. We won't go game by game, but at the end when you have this as a 20-0, we'll just see what everybody else thinks when they go. So I see you going to Seattle. I see that as a W.
Yeah, it should be a dub unless Drew Lock goes for 300 yards, 4 touchdowns in his peak revenge game here. I feel good about that. Russ going home.
Headline, though. That's a great first week headline. Seattle goes down, or Denver goes down to Seattle. That's he has all week.
Yeah. I
who's
see
better, Drew Lock or Russell Wilson on First Take coming up next?
All right, so game 2, Houston.
Yeah,
that's got to be a W.
2-0.
2-0. I mean, we're on the road to 20-0, right?
Yeah,
here.
I feel the 49ers next week here. Who's the quarterback? I mean, is
Trey Lance.
Is it Sir Lance or is it Jimmy Jesus, man? I don't know. So I'm putting that down as a dub as well. Home game.
Okay.
That's 3-0. Now,
all right,
going into the Raiders, that may be tough. They're going to score a lot of points. I don't know how many people they're stopping, but I know they're probably going to put up, 30 points a game. So I got Russ putting up 31, and we're getting that W as well. So.
So we at 4-0.
4-0. The first part of the schedule looks really easy to me, boys. Colts at home, dub, 5-0. I say, well, that's a loss at the Chargers. They'll split with the Chargers, so I'll take the loss there on the road.
Is that a Monday nighter? Yeah, that Monday nighter in LA.
Yeah, a lot of Monday nights, and they didn't have any primetime games last year, so. You can call Russ washed if you want, but they went from 0 to 5 or 6 primetime games. So then you got Jets at home. That's an easy win.
That's a win.
Right?
Yeah.
Jaguars
got to go to
London. Win.
Got hell of the last place schedule here.
I know. Oh yeah. Well, we earned that. All right, Matt. We earned that. I mean, they should have really let us play like the Jaguars and Jets like 5 times, right? Make up for all those years.
Maybe like Georgia, even. Okay.
I mean, and then you got the Titans here. Tannehill. They've got rid of AJ Brown. I don't expect a whole lot from the Titans this year. I think this year they kind of take a step back. I know the Chiefs have had issues in Nashville, but I think the Broncos, and I may actually go to that game. So we're going to put that down as a win.
Nice. That's a good city.
Hey, if you go, I have some friends there that'll let you tailgate with them.
Sweet, even better.
Yeah. Nashville Beckie, Titan fan Beckie.
I love Nashville.
I've moved a lot. What can I say?
She is big in Nash Vegas.
Yeah.
Scott's in Connecticut, and he's a Raiders fan, so
we're going to split with the Raiders. We got them at home, and then at the Panthers. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, where are we at here? I mean, you're rolling through the schedule.
When Carolina gets Baker, there you go.
Well, Ravens at the road in a 11 o'clock start or a 12 o'clock start. I'll take that as a loss. Chiefs at home. We've been waiting for this, right? Mahomes is at that point 15 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. He's got a 40-year-old tight end and no wide receiver that has any separation. I really like our chances, and we've been waiting for that. We've been waiting for the Chiefs to come, and let's go.
And that may decide that may be the game that says who's coming out to go to the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know where we're at, Andy. I think we got 3 losses at this point. Then the Cardinals at home. I mean, that's a win.
I mean, Kyler's holding out the whole year, so I mean,
they fall apart towards the end of the year, right? They start off really fast. I think they have a pretty easy game, the first game, and then they usually those Cardinals start out pretty fast, but then they fade as the weather gets a little colder. A loss at the Rams, the Chiefs. I don't know if we're resting starters at that game in Kansas City. So I'll even say you guys, we split with you guys, right? That's 4 losses or 5. Chargers at home to end it.
I should probably
Depends if the starters are playing at that point.
Yeah.
But I'll take the win on that because we're going to split with those guys. So it's 12 and 5-ish.
So
is where I have them.
Before I jump in here, just a real quick question. So you think we're getting the old Russell Wilson, not an old Russell Wilson, right? That's where you're.
I don't know if you looked at the stats. Last year he missed half the year and still threw more touchdowns than the Broncos quarterbacks combined. The year before that, he had 40 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. So I mean, this whole wash narrative, I'm not feeling it. And
so
they had the third best defense last year. They really haven't lost anybody from that defense. And you bring in an offense with a ton of weapons, they're going to be better by 4 wins. And that's why I got them 12 and 5.
How would you?
That's a pretty reasonable expectation. I think they're Vegas is 10.5. So.
Before I open it up, how would you feel if I said that I had them at 6-11 and winning 1 game after the bye at Carolina?
I would say you're a Chief fan. And you're looking through the red colored glasses, and that's what you want. It's what you want. It's not what you expect, but it's what you want. But Dad's home, man.
Kev,
and it's time to pay the bills. All right.
Let me give Kev.
You guys to get out there and do some yard work. All right.
I'm gonna throw it over to Kev. Let Kev ask some questions. Kev, you got anything? Any questions, comments?
I've been looking to the Denver game because that starts off. We have a pretty hard run toward the end of the season. We have like 4 divisional games in the last 6 or something. But the Broncos is the first one. I see us winning that game. And then we have to go to the Steelers. I mean, I don't know. I just think that I don't think that Russell has what he has, because I watched somebody had him as quarterback last year in fantasy, and he was not consistent. Some weeks the points just weren't there. And, I know that isn't everything, but it tells me that the mechanics or, something wasn't going on right. Maybe it was the receivers, the running backs, but before that, Wilson carried the team. He didn't need anybody else.
I will say that person did okay because we played team quarterback, and Geno Smith did okay that one game.
Yeah,
I will say
that person had a good draft too.
If you look at the first 6 games of the season before he got hurt, I mean, he was killing it. And then I think at that point when you're 6 or 5 and 10 and 11, I think you kind of just you kind of just shut it down a little bit.
You go through the motions.
Well, thanks for that update on the Broncos. Just one last question, Becky. What is the Philadelphia media saying about Russell Wilson to the Broncos? I mean, there's going to be some bias here with all of us AFC people. So, give us what Philadelphia is saying. I mean, is Philadelphia like?
I think you might be a little washed out, to be honest with you. I'm sorry there, pal.
Wow.
I think his wins last season might have been against some teams that weren't playing so well. And then ever since he got hurt, I don't feel like he's been the same.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks that got hurt, let's go to Kev. Let's talk about Lamar. Is Lamar going to bounce back?
What a segue.
Well, Lamar is, I don't know what that man wants. He's, he doesn't want to talk about his contract. I don't know if he's trying to go in with a ring or if he's waiting for to see where all the chips land with everyone else so he can walk in and try to get his maximum. He doesn't have an agent. He does this shit himself.
Big dumb.
Yeah, which is big dumb.
That's the problem. I'm just going to tell you that traditionally, this is such an awful move. Like, you're literally better off going the what's old boy going with Master P, right? With whatever our guy who who decided to go with. What was his name though? Who had him as a? Why can't I think of who he is?
Are you talking about No Limit Records or?
No, of course Master P. But who had Master P as his agent? Why can't I think of that? Dreadlocks got in trouble for shocker lots of Master P maybe related things. Don't you remember Ricky Williams? Ricky Williams literally had Master P, which if you watch any of the No Limit videos, you're like, man, that guy knows how to sell a product. Let's just say that. But you're better off with Master P as your agent than going in with no agent at all. And this is like a new trend where a lot of folks are doing this, and this is a terrible idea.
They don't want to give up 10%.
Yeah, I mean, are you saying that
but
he's going to get 10% less by not having an agent? Because if he doesn't, let's say he gets 5% less, he's still netting 5%. So, I mean,
yeah, but
does he have the brains though to do this
dangerous.
himself? I'm just wondering. I don't feel like he does. I don't feel like he has the brains to be his own agent.
I'm sure he's surrounded by people, right? I mean, he's got people. It's not like he's going in there with a pen and like, what do you know, how much? I mean, he's definitely got accountants. He's got money management people. He just represents himself, right?
Disaster. Again, I'm just going to tell you that. Here's my thing. Listen, that I take that 10% of what you're talking about right there, and I think that's my millionaire / almost billionaire tax, if that makes sense. Where I say to myself, it's like I'm not mowing my lawn, right? I'm not, doing so. A lot of money that I have now is going out to like protecting my money and actually making it to where I don't have to worry about shit. And I definitely am not worrying about all this money and contract stuff and all this other crap. Like I'm going to put it in the hands of a Drew Rosenhaus, of one of these scummy, awful, just get your money agents. And I don't care. And I'm going to tell everybody to have one of these and I'm going to get rich, right? And I'm going to let him deal with it while I'm just playing football and kicking it. And he's taking the flames too, right? Because the other problem is that Lamar will always take the beef right now because who else do you put it on, right? Because everybody hates agents, right? Like, fuck agents. It's damn agents in the way. It's a stupid agent.
That's part of your 10% is that buffer between the public and the team and everybody.
Well, there's also the ability to earn other things, right? So those agents have relationships with other brands and other places.
Get your Nikes out.
Well, and other teams and other players, right?
So sometimes information on what contracts are, sure.
And players, right, too. So that's the other piece, is that they can go in, an agent can go in and say, listen, I know you signed X, X, and X to this money, X, X, and X, because I'm literally his agent, right? And so I already know what you're handing out to people. And so I'm not telling Lamar Jackson this because I'm looking at Lamar Jackson as a player, not as an agent, not as some sort of middleman that's like an insurance guy, So again, I just think this is terrible, terrible idea.
So did you think that when you were 25 years old? I mean, I think we sit there at 39 years old and we're like, yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, 39.
Yeah. But at 25, 22, 23, I mean, are you thinking like that? Do you have people surrounding you that's giving you that advice?
But that's a shame.
Or they just telling you make 10% more by doing it yourself?
I fear that it may cause uncertainty in the locker room. Why hasn't he re-signed? He's supposed to be our guy. He's up there saying, you're my guys. Let's do this. Why haven't you? I don't know.
No, I wonder. Right? I mean, that's interesting. But I would also say that, like, I would say 99% of NFL players have to kind of walk in knowing it's a business, knowing it's that they cannot, that can't be something that you take to the field, right, with you when it comes to that stuff, because it just, again, like there's so little control in that way. The interesting thing is your division, right? I think with Baltimore, because you have probably the biggest amount of turmoil you've had in a long time, right? Because you have
Pittsburgh drops to the bottom.
Pittsburgh, you may potentially have a Mitchell Trubisky sighting, which I think is a total disaster, or they signed the Pickett kid. I don't know.
I think Pickett is probably their week one starting quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know. I bet they Alex Smith him. I bet they Alex Smith that kid. I bet they Mitchell Trubisky is Alex Smith, and he goes in there and he plays a decent.
First of all, I need to stop you there. Don't ever compare Mitchell Trubisky with Alex Smith.
You're so bad.
I'm talking about the role.
I'm saying the role. Like the role has to be a player that was at some point successful.
I know, but I'm just saying he's a placeholder, right? Once this draft has been made, right? So Pickett is the starter eventually. Mitchell Trubisky's never going to be the future. The idea is that once Patrick Mahomes was signed, Alex Smith was not the future, no matter. In fact, he had like an MVP almost season, right? And no one was wanting Alex Smith to play if they were smart the next year, and they knew he needed to be shipped, even though he had one of the best seasons he had here, right, the season before. So it's the same kind of deal that like Mitchell Trubisky's going in there going, this is my job I'm literally losing this job. So the question then becomes and what he then does, if he's smart, is he keeps doing the like, what's his face? The other MU kid.
Chase Daniel move. Just get bank after bank by being a backup / starter every once in a while, or a starter for 6 weeks. And then the kid takes over, Let's talk about the worst thing that ever happened to Trubisky was being in the same draft with Mahomes and Watson and going ahead of those guys. I mean,
some of the best draft talk.
That's the ultimate.
Fingers was a classic move on Trubisky.
That is the ultimate Sam Bowie thing, right? The guy drafted before Jordan. Like,
well, we know that we took Todd Blackledge over Dan Marino,
Jim Kelly,
over John Elway and Jim Kelly in that draft. Was it right? Correct?
Not Elway.
Yeah.
Elway was the first to go, but
thank God.
The Colts took Elway and he refused to play for him. That's why I have no love for.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about the ancient Baltimore-Denver beef.
I got beef with him from when I was 6.
Because that's Baltimore Colts. That's Baltimore Colts, right? That's not even the team that's there then, Colts, right? And Elway was like, "F you, I'm not playing in Baltimore. Are you crazy? I'm not."
So, on that topic, Kev, the Baltimore Colts, Baltimore Ravens, those are the same records, right? Or did the records?
I think the Colts in Indianapolis have the Super Bowls from back then.
Okay, so that when they talk about team records. And I'm being 100% serious with this question. Baltimore Ravens are a standalone. Are they
right from 2000 or whatever it was?
Are they the Cleveland Browns?
No,
because there was the Cleveland Browns.
Yes. Right. Yeah, they were the Cleveland Browns. I have a shirt that says Baltimore Browns. We got them printed up as soon as we heard they were coming.
And then Cleveland got their team back, but Baltimore had the Colts.
Records are all the same, even though it's 2 different franchises. And the Ravens are a standalone.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you cleared that up for us. So what do you got on the schedule here, man? What are you thinking
you win in the division?
We don't have to go game by game.
It's going to come down to the Bengals game at the end. And we have to play at the Bengals on January 8th. And I think that's going to decide the division and who goes to the playoffs. I don't think the Browns are going to do – I don't know. I don't think that the Browns are going to become the top team, even though people do in Cleveland.
So they're talking what, a 6-game suspension for Watson?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing lobbed out there.
Really?
So I went through this and I got you at 14-3.
Very nice.
Wow.
I'm loving that.
I have losses at Tampa, at Pittsburgh in December, and at Bengals at the end of the game, at end of the year.
Right. But if we're 14-3, we might outdo the Bengals. I think we got a chip on our shoulder with the Bengals. They spanked us both games last year, embarrassed us.
Yeah, and Burrow's out there talking trash. Burrow's a clown. I'm sorry. Come on with this Burrow. I hope Burrow gets absolutely exposed this year.
I think they come back to earth.
I do too. I think, come on, stop. Look,
they'll be lucky to win a game.
Yeah.
0-20, 0-17.
I mean,
you got a 20-0 team in Denver. 20-0 team in Denver, 0-17 team in Cincinnati.
They have a lot of talent. They no doubt have a lot of talent. But he's talking trash. He says they talk trash, and he's like, we spanked them and all this other stuff. And I'm like, come on. And all those players, a lot of those Ravens players are still guys that have rings. You know what I mean? So to me, some of that Burrow talk, I don't talk until I've got hardware. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how I am.
Yeah, that boy is good. Bengals are going to be good.
Burrow.
I think he's still hurt.
I think that the Burrow and Chase, that was the greatest ACL injury in the history of ACL injuries, because the Bengals were on the up, and then Burrow blew that ACL, and that brought that draft status back, and then they got Chase. I mean, they're going to be tough to handle. But we talked all year last year, Matt, about that Super Bowl loser curse.
That's what I'm saying. So they have that this year. So right, do they look like the kind of team with the kind of makeup to me to kind of come back from a Super Bowl losing year, and it's not.
I don't think they do. I mean, realistically, if you just, I don't even know why we're playing this season. Buffalo is obviously going 20-0.
Oh God,
they're going to win every game by 45.
Oh man, so over them.
Josh Allen's going to throw for 10,000 yards and 100 touchdowns, and rush for 2,000 yards and 20
Easily.
touchdowns.
They'll break the rushing record and the passing record.
So I mean, they're going to go 20-0.
He still won't be as good as Russell Wilson in Denver, but I mean, he'll be good.
So let's move up here to Scott. You want to talk about the Raiders here? You want to bring up you guys get anybody in the offseason? Make any moves?
really.
Nothing. Make any splashes? Any new head coaches? New wide receivers? Get a kid in the draft? I don't know. Anything happen out there?
AFC West champions, the Las Vegas Raiders.
No, we're talking about the Raiders, not the Chiefs yet. We'll get to the Chiefs.
No, I had it right.
Would that be the first one since when?
So,
2002?
Doesn't
When
matter.
was the last division championship?
Well,
you
we're
won?
talking about this year, which is a good thing because if I was a Chiefs fan, I wouldn't be too psyched about losing Tyreek Hill, but whatever. Maybe you guys will be good. I don't see it. McDaniels, is he a people person? I mean, that's the biggest thing, right? He's a good football mind. I think he knows the game well and can outline it and run the plays, but can he really manage people? I mean, that's a big part of coaching, and I'm not so sure that he has that. But I think with Derek Carr, who is obviously a mastermind behind center, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the game, no question. One of the most accurate quarterbacks of all time.
Good God. This Derek Carr fluffing just cannot be let stand. But I'm just making notes. Never mind.
So we had really good. We got Darren Waller. We got Hunter. Renfro. We got who did we get? Devontae Adams. Right. Just the number one receiver in all of football. Decided to come to Vegas this year and help us out. I see a lot of improvement on the defensive side. Through some free agency as well as the draft. The weird thing is, seems like McDaniels wants to get heavy on the running back side, was picking up some odd players like Brandon Bolden, Amir Abdullah. Then we drafted 2 more running backs on top of having Kenyon Drake and Josh Jacobs already. So I don't know what the hell we're doing.
Do you think he doesn't, if I can jump in, do you think he doesn't have faith in Josh Jacobs? You think that's why he's stockpiling it? Or do you think that it's a kind of a philosophy of the league?
I don't know if it's a philosophy of the league to have 6 guys that could seriously get a run with, I'm not saying they could all be starters, but I mean, they could all play. And that's a lot of, I don't know, to me, it's a lot of running backs and a lot of money wasted in that position.
The Chiefs did that last year too. They had like 4 guys that all produced. And you're like, can we just get one? Is there one guy that can be the guy? I
mean, if you put all that together, to me, regardless of the running back position, because it seems like anybody that could fill in if there's an injury at some point there, probably one of the best offenses in all of football, realistically. So I got us at 13-3-1, looking up and down the schedule.
Who's the tie?
San Diego or LA Chargers now. I'm sorry. The first game of the year. I think that's going to be a battle. I think much like the last game of the season last year, it's going to come down to the wire, but the time's going to run out, and we're going to take a tie. We're going to start the season 0-1 and rally to 13-3-1.
Get that tie that all of America was rooting for.
Are you beating the Ravens?
So we're not playing you until the playoffs, and then it's obviously a blowout. And then we're going to be 1-1-1 to start the year. Right. I got an easy win against Arizona at home with D-Hop being out. Obviously, he's suspended 6-8 games for PED violations or whatever it is. So DeAndre Hopkins isn't going to play for Arizona. I don't really think, that's a scary team at this point. So that's an easy win. I got us losing to Tennessee at Tennessee in a close game, probably a low scoring game. So that's our 1-1-1 start. We absolutely show that Denver is not a problem by blowing them out in the 4th game of the year, like 42-7, maybe.
Dave, how you feel about
Is
that?
this
You wanna
in
jump
Denver?
in?
Yeah, and then we're gonna go to KC and shut them out. So that game's gonna be about 27-0 at Kansas City at
No.
10-22. Mark it. That's a Monday night game. We handle
They're going to
Houston,
sit their starters at halftime.
New Orleans, Jacksonville easily. Tough game at home against Indy. We managed to work it out. We go to Denver again. Denver shows up a little bit, but we're kind of just toying with them. We still pull it out at the end, 27-24, no big deal. We go to Seattle, we win.
Exact score.
We actually beat the Chargers at home, and then we have a tough game against the Rams, which does not fare well for us. Then we beat New England, we beat Pittsburgh handily, and then we actually lose to San Fran, I think. Right, that's 3rd loss, and then
because you said all your starters.
Well, not yet, because we still have a big game against KC, but then we decide we're going to sit a bunch of people for that game because we already have the AFC West locked up.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing the last
beat
place team
Kansas City anyway with a bunch of fucking 3rd and 4th stringers and a shocker to keep the Chiefs out of the playoffs and finish at fucking 8-9 for the year. So,
no, I mean that all tracks. I mean, Dave, want to weigh in on this?
Man, very convincing on he had the scores, which was impressive. I mean,
yeah, it was the scores.
What are we even doing? What are we even doing? Like, it's done. What are we doing?
Pulling for the tie is also bold.
First game of the year.
Call.
Yeah.
Called a lot of shots on that one. Just a personnel wise, explosive offense, a solid front 7, but that back end is pretty shoddy there in Vegas, and I don't know who you guys are really stopping defensively. So it's going to be Raiders may be a fun watch. It may be a lot of 35, 38 games, but I if I'm a Raider fan, I worry about that secondary. And I was just in Vegas a couple weeks ago, and that stadium is pretty awesome. Half the stadium's like a screen out there. Super cool stadium. So I'll give you that.
Fair enough.
I think all these wide receivers that moved around this year, talking Adams, Hill, Brown, both Browns.
The Browns.
I think they all are going to regret. They all went backwards. Like, I mean, I've seen some videos of Tua throwing a rocket to Tyreek Hill that he underthrew him by 5 yards.
I don't think Marquise Brown was ever that good as everyone said he was. And I don't think moving is going to help him at all.
Yeah, I think that...
well, he's reunited with his college quarterback now, right?
Right. Rekindle that old man.
Kyler.
Oh, Derek Carr and Devontae Adams. That's right.
Yeah, I think that's going to be, I think Rodgers is a little better than Derek Carr. Just maybe a little bit. I've never heard of him. He does State Farm commercials. I don't know.
Derek Carr fluffing. They're just incredible.
Well, let's get a little NFC.
Yeah, let's give us NFC action.
Yeah, a little NFC. A little Philadelphia, fly Eagle fly. # Eagle fan backs.
Yeah.
She will throw batteries, beer cans,
Boo
loaded
Santa.
Snowballs with the best of. She will boo Santa. Like Santa Claus comes to the house. She don't like the gift. She's booing him.
Yeah, we're a bunch of assholes here. Just gonna let you know. So.
Well, so you start off.
Some stereotypes are true.
You start off with the Lions. You got a W or an L on that?
I got a W.
Well, you're going to start with a win against the Lions on 9/11.
Yeah.
Okay. Move on to Minnesota. W or L?
We're winning.
Okay, another 20-0 season. Look at there.
There we go.
They're going to run 20-0. All right.
I think Philly's going to be good.
Honestly, I feel like they do actually have a fairly easy schedule, but I could be wrong.
Washington Commandos.
I think we're going to win that one too.
We're 3-0.
4-0.
We are not losing in September. All right. You do realize that you're not in Kansas City, okay?
Yeah, I do.
You're someplace else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess,
It's
with
nice weather
Jacksonville,
here right now, though, so I'm going to use that to our advantage.
it's going to be 52 and rainy here tomorrow. It's going to be awesome.
94 here.
So game 4 is Jacksonville.
Yeah, we're going to win that one, too.
Okay. Cardinals?
Can't remember what I said. Oh, we're losing that one.
I don't know. I mean, I think Scott brought up a great point. I don't like the Cardinals. The first 6 games without Hopkins, they got rid of Christian Kirk. I got to be honest. I got you 5-0 out of the gate. I got that as a W.
Okay.
That you got a huge Week 6 matchup with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think we're going to lose that one.
They're garbage.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Matt, is this a you hating Jerry Jones thing? The entire organization, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott.
Dak is all hat, new cattle. I don't believe in
somebody.
But he's usually good at the beginning of the year. It's when the middle part to the end is when he kind of starts to shit the bed. So
one of the funniest things I saw was somebody said Dak Prescott was Kirk Cousins with better PR.
Nice.
Accurate.
Nice.
That's 100% accurate. And I don't know that it's 100%. It's just their team in general. I hate the America's team stuff. I hate that they still kind of, get that kind of, respect when really they have been garbage for, since the Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith days.
30 years.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? Part of me is just just the gaudiness of, the stadium itself, just everything about them is just gross. And I never been a fan.
So we got them at 6-0 or 5-1. What are we thinking here? Is that going to be a loss?
He had more losses than you did.
He had the loss. All right. Well, okay. The Steelers. I think Kev already explained that they're going to be terrible.
Yep. So I have one winning.
You're gonna win the Battle of Pennsylvania.
Heck yeah! Bring it.
Houston is terrible. I mean, this is an amazing schedule.
I said we have a really good schedule.
Is this is fucking.
Yeah,
this
I
is
think I
murderer's
have us
row
winning
here.
12 and losing 5.
This is a second place schedule, by the way. This is a second place schedule.
It's the NFC East, so they get New York, they get the Giants, and then
you got the Commandos again.
Yeah,
Yep.
the Commanders.
They haven't played the Giants yet.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
you got
this
2
is
Giants games.
3, 6, 7, 8, 9. You've played 9 games here. 8 of them are wins, at least.
There you go.
Then you probably have
to be an Eagle fan, I guess, huh?
And then you probably go on a then this is where the wheels fall off and the city just implodes. You go Indianapolis, Green Bay, Tennessee. So you probably get 3 losses right in a row.
See, I had us winning at Indy.
Are we worried about Tennessee? I mean, it's Ryan Tannehill. They don't have their best wide receiver, and their running back has to be getting worn down, right?
They always seem to find a way to win, though.
Vrabel's a great coach. Derrick Henry was the MVP of the league last year.
Touchdowns to themselves.
I didn't know he won MVP.
He should have been the MVP of the league, even with the missed games. If
well,
you are leading the league,
he's a running back, and they get hurt after about the 3rd or 4th year. So
and you missed.
I'm not buying
4
stock.
games. He missed 4. It took 4 games for the next guy to catch him in rushing yards.
And they played the Jaguars, Colts, and Texans twice. So it's a little bit of.
That Jonathan Taylor guy for the Colts, though, he carries the team.
He does.
He really, except the last game of the season.
They don't have Carson Wentz now. They have someone else. Oh, Matt Ryan, right? They have another.
Matty Doo-Doo. Matt
Doo-Doo.
Matty football.
Matty Doo-Doo.
Matty football.
So we finally play the Giants. So that's a W.
Yep.
The Bears. That's a W. And then you close with the Cowboys, Saints, and Giants. You're winning 2 of those 3.
What a cake of a schedule.
This is a 12-5, 13-4 schedule.
I have 12-5. Yep.
For any team.
Or Philadelphia Eagles.
Fly, Eagle, fly.
Oh my gosh. And they got Devonta Smith, they got AJ
they were more like
AJ
run
Brown.
Eagle run last year with Jalen.
And
Jalen,
really my
good.
gosh.
Eagles are going to be good.
What a time.
Yeah, but that's still a question mark to me, though, right? And the question mark is, can he stay healthy? Can he be? Because my only problem with him is that he's a little bit of a B version of Lamar. as a runner, which is not bad. I mean, he's a great
He's
runner.
the Philly version of Lamar.
Right, but I don't know that he's Lamar, though, right? Like, he can really take over a game with his legs and stay healthy by doing so, right? And then the other piece is, does he really have the arm and the ability to win games with his arm? That I think is still question marks for that dude. So, I mean, I think to me, like, this year is the prove it year, for him, because all the pieces are in play. He's got the schedule. They've got, the weapons. So the question then becomes, is he the type of quarterback that can, because I still think it's a quarterback league, right? So you can name all those things that you name. That's why Tyreek Hill, I think ultimately, like you said, Andy, is going to regret that move, because there's just, although if I'm Tyreek Hill, I regret that on the beach with my $1 billion with many, many things that I probably should not have, nor I'm going to mention here as my wife's down here. No, I'm joking.
But he's got a ring, right? He has his ring.
He's got a ring. So I don't think he's the type of guy that really cares that much, which is fine. I don't blame him, but I'm also saying, like,
are you saying that's the Hosmer effect? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
the guy gets a ring. He goes to the beach. He puts on some weight. Is that what he's calling? I think he's Dave. You want to talk
be nice to Dave today. Come on, we're going to have Padres up.
I think I'd like to have an intervention with Matt, because his slander for anybody who doesn't play for Kansas City and a quarterback is through the roof. Go back and listen to this, Matt. It's literally anybody who's not the Chiefs quarterback. Mahomes could be traded tomorrow, and you'd be like, system quarterback, best years behind him, a product of Andy Reid. He doesn't have the weapons. I mean, literally, listen to yourself.
What I would say about Jalen,
quarterbacks out there.
Here's what I'd say about Jalen.
Just say it.
I'm just going to say about Jalen. I think a comparison of Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson is not even in the same ballpark, man. Lamar Jackson's a unique, special talent that if he's healthy, that's right. And maybe the size of Lamar leads to those injuries, whereas the size of a guy like Jalen Hurts.
Zion Williams.
We built up our O-line. That was the problem. He had a bunch of second stringers standing there in front of him, so he had to work twice as hard, which made him prone to having the
that's
injury.
where part of me goes where that's Jalen.
That's where it's at. More of the player he is, though.
He's going to run no matter
what.
Even
if he had a line, he'd still be moving around and taking all day back.
And so to me, Jalen Hurts is a little more of a plus arm.
Yeah.
So what you lose out of Hurts with his legs, you get out of him with a little more accurate passer, in my mind, at least what he's shown so far when healthy. But I don't know that it's accurate enough. See, then that becomes the question, right? Is Lamar's unique talent as a runner enough as a quarterback to win a Super Bowl? Or is Jalen Hurts just as an average kind of above average runner, maybe, average arm? Is that enough to take a team to a Super Bowl? I mean, we've seen it in the past. We've seen guys that have no business.
Both Super Bowls for quarterbacks that were average.
Both of them.
Both of them were average. We won a couple games
average,
only kicking field goals, and ended up winning the Super Bowl that first year.
But then you also kind of look at the league overall, and you go look at how many years was it either Manning or Brady, right, or Roethlisberger?
There was a time where the only AFC quarterback to go to the Super Bowl, not named Manning, Roethlisberger, or Brady, was Flacco.
Was Flacco there in that moment? Right. Yeah.
Flacco was a while, and then he got traded to Denver and was never heard from again.
It was a catch.
He wasn't any good to begin with.
Super Bowl
he went to Denver to cash a check. He was like, "Fuck it, I'll sit on the bench for a year or two."
Having any faith in Flacco after he had won that ring was so silly. And that's where John Elway, you just got to question Elway's leadership at some point. And that's when you get a player in that. Brady will do that too. It sounds like Brady ultimately, although I guess he signed this maybe Fox, news thing, but supposedly I've also
Fox
heard
news.
Fair. He might as well. But whatever. But
say something nice about a quarterback not named Patrick Mahomes. Prove David wrong.
He can't.
Johnny Unitas was great.
That's a current player. That is
NFL a current player. Matt Stafford. Say something nice about him.
Oh no,
he won the Super Bowl.
No good.
Okay,
don't pick him.
All right, fine. Let me pick somebody. I'm going to randomly pick somebody else. I need you to say something nice about Josh Allen. Sam Darnold.
Kirk
Tua.
Cousins.
Josh Allen's good, man. They're all fine. They're
Matt
all
Ryan.
good.
I was about to go with Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan is probably actually
Jones?
Matt Ryan is basically Alex Smith to me, right? And
Alex
actually,
Smith up, not playing.
I love Alex Smith. Alex Smith's great. All I'm saying is that okay.
Justin Fields.
Have we even seen this kid play? I don't even know. None of these guys. You're right. Actually, they're all garbage.
Jared Goff.
You're right. Jared Goff. No, he's terrible. Obviously,
Super hot lady.
There's
something nice for
it. He does. Yeah, exactly.
His wife seems very nice.
Yeah,
Did
she
you
said when I would love to see Jared Goff win a lot if we can get her reaction.
Stafford pushed a girl off a stage, and he
did not push her.
What happened to that?
No.
Yeah, what did happen to that?
I know, man.
Weird, man. That was really weird, and nobody ever spoke of it again.
I
Is
know.
she
He pushed that girl
laugh
off the
at?
stage and then laughed at her, pointed
I
I
at her.
think
and
somebody
was
paid her off.
Push her.
Yeah. She got
I
a
hope it wasn't.
$250,000. There was a check waiting for her at the door.
Yeah.
On the ground.
It wasn't Lily from
He bought her a
AT&T,
horse.
right?
Justin Herbert. How about Justin
we
Herbert?
didn't
You
hear
got anything
Lily.
nice to say about him?
No, all I'm
Yeah.
saying is this. Listen, and here, so he goes back to, okay, so Dave, here's what I'll tell you, and this is what I hope you may have the exact same experience with Russell Wilson, right? Because of what? Because of what you listed, right? With Trevor Siemian, with all the quarterbacks that you sat through and watched that are so garbage for so many years, right? And so when I saw Patrick Mahomes in a preseason game play, I was out there in really his first preseason game. And I even told Deanna, I was like, because it was through her work, and it was like we were in a suite. So I didn't even care. It's a preseason game, and I never really go out there anyway. We're just going out there for free, right? I said, I'm only going to care when he comes in. And he played well in that moment and threw like a 30-yard pass down the line that Alex Smith could never make in his life. And I knew from that second on that the kid, and I wanted him to start that year, and I was furious that they even wasted 1 year of his career, on the bench, because it just, I knew what a good quarterback, or at least I knew what horrible quarterbacking was. And I finally saw a good quarterback, and he had a red jersey on, and he, and an arrowhead on the side of his helmet. And that just had never been anything for me. Now for you, you've been blessed, right? Like you had obviously Elway, then you have Manning, which Manning, was a different thing when you had him, but hey, he wins the Super Bowl, But
Manning had 2 Hall of Fame careers. If Manning only played for the Colts and only played for the Broncos, he would still be a Hall of Famer.
Oh, come on.
Look at the number. Look at his numbers. Look
I'm
at his,
over this
his
man.
numbers in Denver. His numbers in Denver. And by the way, you hate Peyton Manning.
I do.
Well.
Okay. See, now that's a quarterback I
love
really
Eli, though. Love
Me
Eli.
too.
I will say this. Can I?
Matt does not like Eli either. Do you like Eli?
I don't like Eli at all.
My wife is in
One
the
of the
swimming
most
pool
overrated
waiting for me
quarterbacks
to
ever.
join her. So I got about 5 more minutes.
All right.
All right. I'm going to make a Russell Wilson comment, and then we're going to get to the main event here.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Russ.
you. So here's the thing about Russell Wilson. Whether he is washed on the field or not, he's going to change the culture in the building. It's the Montana effect. We saw it here with Montana. It was not the same Joe Montana, but he changed the culture. So that's going to be the thing that Russ is going to do in Denver. He's going to bring a winning mentality and a winning work ethic. So Denver's going to be tough this year.
They're gonna suck.
Having said that, Matt, should we get into the Chiefs schedule here? I mean, I've got a solid 16-1. What do you got?
Puppy alert.
Say it to his face, Matt. Say it to his face.
Dave, I've got the Chiefs going 16-1.
They're losing twice to the Raiders. How could you possibly?
Matt's got them 17-0, but I thought that, I wanted to be a little realistic. We're going to lose the last game of the year to the Raiders when we're sitting all of our starters because we don't care about that undefeated season.
Chad Henne might lead him to a win in that game, actually.
No, in all seriousness, I've got this as a bounce between 13-4, 12-5, and 11-6.
I have 11-6.
This is a
I'd
murderer's
see that
row
way.
schedule. So that's where I landed. Matt, what'd you have, Matt?
You guys do have a tough schedule. I will give you that. Those first 7-8 games, all against playoff teams.
The Chargers didn't make the playoffs. Indianapolis
Close.
didn't make the playoffs.
Well,
They
The
were
Chargers
right
and
there, though.
Indianapolis,
They were right there.
they
above
should.
500
Honestly,
teams.
those teams should have made the playoffs. They're both just going back to my original story. They're me at a Chamber of Commerce lunch with a piece of
Choking on
chicken
their
that it's just.
They choked their chicken.
They really did. Like to not be able to beat Jacksonville to get into the playoffs.
Yikes.
I mean, unbelievable. You know, I mean,
Meyer got him on the way out the door.
It was brutal.
you know, so I mean,
And
so-
so the only thing I'll say about the schedule thing is that ultimately that's the danger of looking at the schedule on week 0, right? Because the teams that we think are going to be good, there's going to be at least a couple of them that are going to be bad. And there's going to be at least a couple of the teams that, you know, that Philadelphia Beckie there is going to have to deal with maybe.
it's
that
Eagle
could
fan
be
backs.
Eagle
Get it
fan
right.
backs. I was trying to get it out. Like, right. It's been so many. It's been so many. I got to get through them. But like Eagle fan backs is there's one of those teams is going to be good. The Saints somehow is going to come out of the blue, you know, and somehow be a good team by the end of this. And so
Say something nice about Jameis Winston.
he's
Like a nice man.
got good hands. He's got good hands, obviously. Remember when he snatched those crab legs or whatever that was? That was awesome.
I thought he
You don't have-
stole the crab legs.
Oh, well, that's, you know, now in the days of name, image, likeness, like he would have been Mr. Crab in college, which I don't know that you ever really want to be Mr. Krabs in college, maybe. But now, you know, he would have been sponsored by the crab company, and then now he wouldn't have had to steal, you know, the crab. But Jameis back then, you know,
So what realistically, Matt, who do you have as the losses on the Chiefs schedule?
Was I supposed to have it pulled up?
You want me to do it? I'll give mine while you look at yours.
No. I'm just gonna say this.
So I have a loss at week 4 at Tampa.
Mhm.
A loss week 6 Buffalo here.
Mhm.
At Tennessee here.
Mhm.
At Los Angeles Chargers. And then, you know, maybe one of these down here at the end. But I could see them, like I say, I mean, I just don't know what to think of this team because
Buffalo.
it's Mahomes 2.0 era. So what is this team with, as
Is
Dave
it
said,
not?
you know, you don't have that wide receiver Tyreek Hill that's that explosive player, but you've got depth. But instead of saying I've got a top 5 wide receiver in the league, I got 3 or 4 middle of the road, upper tier guys that. So is it this team looked at it offensively and said, we cannot allow these teams to roll coverage, double cover these guys. We have to spread the ball around.
Mhm.
And you just don't know what that's going to be. And so, I mean, I could see this team starting off very, very slow and then coming on strong at the end.
I will say this. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Andy, but has that ever worked in any sport where you trade a star player for a bunch of role players and you're like, yeah, we traded our star, but we got 3 or 4 guys, you know, that are guys, you know, that
Well, I think that
stars
it's,
win in this league. And then, you
Yeah,
know,
it
my
has
squad,
worked.
There's one.
yeah, it has worked. It worked in New England. So
Well,
I
they
mean,
had Tom
the
Brady.
evolution
I mean,
of
they
that
had their
team.
star.
But the evolution. I mean,
Who'd they trade to get? Who'd they
when
trade?
they let Randy Moss go, they got a bunch of intermediate guys.
I thought he retired from New England. I mean, I could be wrong.
No, he went.
Where'd he go?
They let him go. They cut him.
All right.
He had the monster season, and then a few years later he got cut, and then he kind of bounced around. You know, kind of one of those things where it's like Shaq was a Phoenix Sun. Really, it's
And a
true.
Celtic.
Shaq played for the Shaq.
He
played
was a
for the Suns.
Raider. Wasn't Randy Moss a Raider?
He was a Raider before he was a Patriot.
Before he was a Patriot.
That's
Yeah.
I think he only went back to Minnesota and retired. But
Yeah. So I mean, but to trade we
It's
all
also
knew that
never
at
worked
some
the other
point
way
you were going to
around.
have to get rid of that guy. That you weren't going to be able to keep all of them.
And I also
So-
would never pay anyone but a quarterback that type of money. If it comes down to that type of thing, that's why I worry about a Devontae Adams contract, Scott. And, you know, that's to me, I just don't see a player, because that ultimately is the combination. When you start to kind of look and say, this guy was a Hall of Famer, or this guy was great, but his quarterback sucked, that's not a conversation you have. I mean, it's just not a conversation you really have. The
He doesn't have a
conversation,
quarterback that sucks.
huh?
He doesn't have a quarterback that sucks. He hasn't. He played for Aaron Rodgers. Now he plays for Derek Carr.
Okay, but what I'm also going to tell, okay, but I'm really more saying Tua. Really, this is back to Tyreek Hill and the Tua conversation. Although I would ultimately say that that's a step down, a very clear step down from Aaron Rodgers to Derek Carr. And I would also say I have never heard anybody in the league ever get talked about like so openly as being soft as Derek Carr. I will say that, and that always kind of bothers me, because when I heard that,
his leg was broken. He was the MVP the year his leg got broken through 12 games.
I've heard many players, on record and off, say that you hit Derek Carr and it's over. And I've seen it happen so many times.
He's never missed another game besides his broken leg.
But that's what I'm saying, is that he doesn't perform well. And that's the best part of it. He never goes out, but then he plays like garbage and then gets sacked like 7 more times and then throws like 2 picks and it's over for the team. And that's what I'm saying. And Derek Carr has to do it in clutch situations, man. He has to go as a quarterback. That's what I'm saying. Russell
I think
Wilson.
the Raiders had like the most winning drive, like last minute drive wins last year in the entire NFL.
How many playoff would
I could look it up. I don't have it pulled up, but I'm pretty sure it's something along those lines.
Say something nice
the Raiders
about Derek Carr,
actually
Matt.
had the most like
got good hair.
He does
Derek Carr
does. Got great beard. He's a good
Derek
beard
Carr,
guy.
actually, I like Derek Carr's energy. I will say that. He seems like a really, decent human being, overall. But I don't find him to be the kind of guy that I would like to be leading my team,
you
though.
say something nice
I
about
mean, I think he's a very good captain, personally.
What about Davis Mills? Can you say something nice about Davis Mills?
He does. He's not bad, although again,
that kid.
He
What
might
first
be
name Davis? There's not too many.
Awful. He'll never be good.
Davis.
He'll never be good because he's Davis. I mean, that's ultimately the problem. He needs to change that around. Be Mills Davis. He might actually have a better chance.
David,
Might have a
seriously,
future.
what do you got the Chiefs going? What's your take on the Chiefs? Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know who you're playing.
6 and 11.
No, I definitely. What were you last year? Let's go with that. What were you last year?
11 and 5.
12 and 5, 13 and 4.
12 and 5.
I mean,
seed.
I think it's kind of the same conversation that Packer fans are having. I mean, they traded Devontae Adams and replaced him with Sammy Watkins and some other guys.
Juju.
You guys traded Hill and got some TikTokers.
Juju.
And look, I mean, I just don't think you can trade a star and think that you're going to get better. So let's take 2 wins off, right? So if you're 13, I say 11 and 6, or if you're 12, I say 10 and 7, something like that. I mean, you're not going to be garbage by any means, but I just think that
who wins? You win the division, though. That you guys win the division.
Ability.
Yeah, you win the division. Denver still wins the division. Yes.
I think that if you look at what Vegas says, I mean, the Chargers are at over under 11, and the Chiefs and Broncos are 10.5. Okay. So, I think it comes down to a couple games.
Did the Chargers move?
Did
they move them up? No, seriously.
I think they're 11, and the other 2 teams are, and I think Raiders are at 10. So
the last one I saw that it was Kansas City and Denver as the top 2.
Well,
they still have a coach that goes for it every fourth down.
Game here or there. It's
Kev, you got any thoughts on the Chiefs schedule? Anything?
I think they're gonna be above 500.
Yeah,
by
good.
1 game.
Good. Above 500. That's what we're looking for.
9 and 8.
Eagle, what are they saying about the Chiefs out there in Philadelphia? Are they saying
we got them at 11 and 6 here?
Oh, the Philly. Okay, Scott.
8 and 9. I had them at 8 and 9. Losing last place in the division, actually.
Last place. Good, man. We're looking forward to that last place schedule. because I think we get, it'd be nice.
That's the road back to the Super Bowl was getting
yeah.
the last place schedule.
That's been our schedule. All right, don't be trying.
No, we haven't had a last place.
Schedule.
We've had a first place schedule for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
We haven't had a last place schedule. Like, I think us and the Broncos, the last time the division winner was not the Chiefs or the Broncos was like 2010. I'm pretty sure it was.
And I think it's important to and I think for the Chiefs, we've been spoiled a little bit, and I think the NFL probably seeing what we've done has been a little bit. I don't know why it is, because when you go to 4 straight AFC Championship games, like
host 4 straight.
When you host 4 straight AFC Championship games, you should be. I mean, it should be automatic. I mean, there should be a level of respect that's paid to a team. If this was the Patriots who had won 4 straight AFC Championship games, we would not be talking about the Bills. We wouldn't be talking about the Chiefs. We wouldn't be talking about anybody. We would be talking about the Patriots. So it's just really curious and just really interesting to me. And I hope they really kind of had that chip on their shoulder of like, oh, you got Buffalo, even though, again, Buffalo still hasn't beaten us in a meaningful game yet. You know what I mean?
Baltimore, in all seriousness, and I know we're running low on time.
We got to go.
Guys run, but, I think this is a huge season for Mahomes.
Hell yeah.
However you want to say it, I mean, we're not used to seeing him fail. And he 100% failed in that second half of the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
So I think it's and then you take away his. I've always thought Kelsey was his best weapon, but you take away his best weapon. So it's going to be big to see all of the sins that he had early in the year came back and haunted him in that second half. He refused to take checkdowns. He refused to make a profit. So I mean, I think this team's going to be 13-4 if he'll take those profits. If he'll find the open guy and let him work, they'll be 13-4. If he decides to force the ball and turns it over a lot, they're going to be, was it 8-9? Scott, is that where 8-9? Yeah, they're going to be 8-9 if he. So
I'm on team. Let Pat be Pat.
Let
Pat be Pat, baby.
He's already got more rings than Jim Kelly, though. So.
Well, look, let's be honest. I mean, everybody talks about. There's a lot of people that say that Justin Herbert's the best quarterback in this AFC West division. But I'm just going to say, of the AFC West quarterbacks, Travis Kelce has more playoff touchdown passes than Justin Herbert.
Kaboom. Exactly.
He's the only
not more than Derek Carr.
He's the only one that has not played in the playoffs.
Exactly.
So
stop it. Stop it with your Justin Herbert nonsense. The guy's garbage.
Say something nice about Justin Herbert.
No way. No way.
Can you say something nice about Kyler Murray?
He is pretty good. I don't mind.
There you go, Dave. See,
I don't mind him. What a compliment.
Probably has pretty hair if you want to go with that, Matt.
Oh yeah, he's a good hair guy. He could be on one of those Head and Shoulders commercials. Him and Dave. Dave's got a great head of hair there too.
This is for swimming, guys.
Look at that. I mean,
swimming only.
Dave's got a great
these laps. I'm going to eat them up.
Oh man, Dave's a good beard guy, man. That beard's looking good.
What's coming in?
Solid beards and facial.
Kev, can you show everybody your professional photo? Just pop that camera off real quick. Look at how dapper Kev looks in this picture.
Oh, I love it when Kev does this. This is my favorite.
There it is.
Wow. Is that dude?
Wow.
I love it when that happens.
My man.
It's from like 10 years ago.
So good.
Love it. Hey, y'all are the best. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Hope you guys had fun. Look forward to reconvening to see how I took notes. So we're going to see how many of these.
We'll have you back on to talk trash.
Yeah, we'll have you back on to see how many of these 20-0s happen. So, hey, appreciate y'all. Have a good afternoon. Talk to you guys soon.
All right. Thanks.
Bye, y'all.